time for the Too Much Dip podcast. I'm Dave. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. Happy Juneteenth. I'm going to host, if that's cool with everybody. Joining me in studio, still in Shivery.
Well, hello, David. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Hockey's done. Of course, team won, so I don't have that to talk about anymore. A lot of golf happening, though. That was a fun. I finished like 3 hours ago. I don't know if you caught this West Coast tournament, Dave. But
yeah, I got a feeling we're going to talk about it, as it's the first thing on the rundown that we'll talk about shortly.
What a weekend. Just Father's Day vibes. Anyway.
Man, speaking of Father's Day vibes, here's a guy who not only is he a good dad, he's a good podcaster, he's good on Twitter, and from what I can tell, he's just an all-around good guy. It's KJ, live from Madison, Wisconsin. KJ, you there?
Thank you. I'm both humbled and honored by that tremendous introduction. I appreciate it. David, happy belated Father's Day to each of you fellas. I want to start treating Father's Day like we did, Christmas as kids, where you get to just compare. Like, hey, what'd you get? What was your best gift? What was your least favorite gift? Can we start exposing our toddlers for their trash gifts?
I can expose somebody in my family for not getting me a card.
Wow.
Just saying.
Oh, Randy.
Yeah. It was our producer, Randy, as I am his daddy.
So I shared this on Circling Back, but Parks made me a little, not necessarily a card, but it's like he filled out this graphic. It was like, tell me about my dad, or, I'm going to tell you about my dad.
Mad Libs.
And he forgot what my middle name was. So he asked his mom, and she thought he was asking about her fiance's middle name, which is Kevin. And so he put Dylan Kevin Shivery. My middle name is not Kevin. It is Joseph. But it's laminated, and I'm keeping it forever. I think it's hilarious. We'll look back on it someday and laugh. But he was really apologetic. I was like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, I never say my middle name around you. It's not a big deal. But yeah, Kevin, my new middle name.
Wow. I would hope that my son, even though I don't think he knows his own middle name, would remember mine, as it is the same. As we share that with my father as well. But we had a similar, fill in the blank about your dad category. My son will be 3 in July. So, a little bit of grace to be extended. Except for when the first blank is, my dad's name is, first name, Nicole was his answer.
I like that.
So it says my wife's name. And I asked him while we were at a little school event Friday after school, and was like, hey, Kai, what's my name? Nicole. And as his is up there amongst all the other kids, and I'm like, okay, well, being that your teachers and everybody else sees you, most of the time, you picked up and dropped off by both parents. Kudos to you for, I don't know, tipping the cap to the 2 mom families out there, or the single mom families out there, where they just imagine Nicole's just doing both jobs.
Indeed.
Not the case.
No, but she could if she needed to.
Definitely.
Okay.
For sure.
Oh. She's not listening.
Come on.
We had Daddy Donut Day on Friday at Rhodes, my son Rhodes' daycare. And in my head, I kind of envisioned like I don't know, when your parents used to come eat dinner or lunch, breakfast with you at school, and they'd sit down in like the little tiny cafeteria chair, and it'd be real cute. Wasn't like that at all. Not it's a good daycare, but they had a bunch of donuts, great spread, shout out to them. But they wouldn't let you bring them into the classroom. So you're just kind of like outside the door, like doing like a weird little squat thing, eating a donut. Like, with your kid. And of course, my kid chose the one with the blue frosting and sprinkles, and it's just everywhere. But
of course,
I don't know, man. I expect a little, maybe like a nice card table to sit down at. I don't know.
Did your wife immediately point that out as like, this screams the teacher cleaned the classroom already and she's not going back in there before the weekend?
We we left thinking, you know what, it probably is the right call to not eat the donuts in the classroom. And I don't really think I would want to eat the donuts around a bunch of other little kids, just because, kids are dirty, sick, disease,
It's
COVID-19,
true.
things of that nature. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It caught me a little bit off guard, but I had a great Father's Day. If that's my long way of saying it was good. This is my second Father's Day, my third Father's Day, I think,
As a father.
as a father.
Yeah.
As a
So,
father with a child born before June 18th or whatever.
finally have a child old enough to tell me Happy Father's Day in his own way, and then scream at me in the car if I don't repeat it back to him every time. So it was a cool ride to brunch, but that's okay. That's okay.
I can appreciate that. I sent this in a group text the other day, almost like it was across the line. Anytime you send any photos in a group text, if it's not like public content, like you're taking a little bit of a risk. We know you send out meat pics to the group, you're setting yourself up to be roasted, especially if you're not measuring from the base or there's no gut shot. But
You
in
don't have,
particular,
He's talking about measuring penises.
you don't have to make it sound like that.
Did I miss a
we
picture of
released
KJ's?
post lunch. Like, I feel like if this was circling back and people were consuming this while, having lunch in their car, I might be a little bit more PG about things.
Don't
we're
worry.
the 4 p.m. pod.
We had Dan on for Circling Back, filling in for Will, and we talked RFK, intelligence assassinations, and maybe some. We dabbled in gay frogs.
He talked
Proxy
about
wars.
that bridge.
Yeah, we talked a lot. We talked about dams. There was a lot going on. So whatever you're going to do, KJ, you can talk about.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for making this an inclusive environment, unlike some people. What I'm getting at here, I don't even remember what I was rambling about. Anyways, I sent a photo to a group text recently of just my eyes because, as some people may be aware, Canada's like half on fire, and that smoke made New York orange a few weeks ago. You haven't seen as much in the news about it, but because there was a nice rainstorm, settled down a little bit. That shit's still present here in Wisconsin.
Oh, no.
I went to the entire Daddy Day picnic or whatever that we had, a movie night at my kid's school. The entire time I'm walking around looking like Tally. Like I'm on red eye alert all episodes. So if you see me rubbing my eyes or just completely bloodshot, obviously I'm not dabbling in that mota here in the middle of the day.
Mhm.
I was hoping you
But-
just had Michael Jordan eyes.
At this point, I'm worried that I might. I'm like 3.5 weeks into just nonstop eye drops and rubbing my eyes to the point where I'm like, should I be scheduling a little opto appointment?
I famously
Optometry
stole
for
your
those that know.
antihistamine eye drops in Las Vegas at Dylan's bachelor party. That's a fun fact. People don't know about that, but I did. I still got them in my
Keep
doc
those-
kit one of these days.
Keep that thing on me.
Yeah.
So, forgive me if being here via YouTube, which you should check out Too Much Dip on YouTube, you see that me eyes are red. I don't know. I wanted to accent, but
Was that pirate talk? Is that what that was? Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Man, well, KJ, I think you look pretty good. Dylan, too. Myself as well. Mainly because I started my day with Athletic Greens.
Ooh-wee.
AG1.
Ooh-wee.
Does that ring a bell?
That's how I start every day, Dave.
You just get a little scoop, put it in the shaker, a few ounces of water, and just shake it up and drink it, huh?
If for whatever reason I forget to take my AG1, and it's very rare these days, I feel incomplete. I feel like I shouldn't start my day. I just feel like I'm off my game.
I'm a dude who posts his dubs, and I'm a dude who's going to tell you about his dub. And my dub is every day I start with AG1. Why is that? You're probably wondering. Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, so superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. I was just thinking about how good my ad reads were earlier, and then I thought I was pitching another perfect game, and here we are. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, Dylan, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things. It's so easy. It tastes good. And I'm going to give you some fun facts. Less than 1 gram of sugar. No GMOs.
No kidding.
No nasty chemicals. No artificial anything. And it still tastes great. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. It's got everything, man. It's a great way to start your day. I feel incomplete if I don't. And I've got a bunch of little packets in my DOP kit. It's very good to have on vacation, especially if you don't eat as well on vacation, because I don't. I'm so bad. Ooh, so bad on vacation. You know that. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health. Arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills, supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/bang. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/bang to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Oh,
I'm going to send a quick photo to the group text, and I probably could have sent it to Randy as well. Whatever. Dylan responded, "Ooh wee," as we started the AG read there briefly, and the only thing I can ever think of when I hear somebody say "ooh wee" is that there is now closed, sad to report, restaurant in Fort Worth, Texas. How would you read that sign in the photo I just sent you?
Ooh wee, wangs and catfish.
ooh wee,
Gotta be careful here.
wangs. Dude.
It's spelled WANGZ.
It is. It is.
It anytime I hear that, that's like the only way I can pronounce that place. And sad to see that it's gone. But anyhow, let's carry on.
I bet it's more of a ooh wee and less of a
Ooh wee.
But it doesn't matter. It looks like a place that would be very, very good. I guess now I can adjust the timestamp because we have to put, we did talk ooh wee wangs at 11:20. And now here at 12:36, we're talking U.S. Open. How about that? KJ, you were all over this.
Yeah, I appreciate being called golf guy, as I very clearly was able to get my children to sleep, sit down on the couch, and catch all of that evening primetime golf. How about that, boys? Don't you just love a nice evening of golf on the weekend?
Let's start there because we had a take earlier. Brett Merriman said he is not a big fan. And I think I normally like it. I have my own issues at the presentation of this year's tournament and the tournament in general, but I normally can get behind it. I did say that I looked up and it was like 8:30, and as a guy who goes to bed before 10:30, it's like, oh, I just burned up my entire night. Like, what am I going to do now? I got to go watch a Love Island.
Yeah, well, I was watching it yesterday with my brother-in-law, and it was like 2:30 somewhere in there. And they had a shot of Fowler showing up to the golf course in the T-shirt and with his hanging bag over his shoulder or something like that. And I look at him, I'm like, he's got 2.5 hours till he tees off, and it's like mid-afternoon already. It's ridiculous, but I enjoyed it. I like watching. I just like that it was an all-day thing. And golf is the kind of sport where you don't have to intently watch the whole thing. You can kind of catch, bits and pieces of it. So if you want to go outside and throw the ball around with your old man or work the girl for a little bit, you come back in, you still got 4 hours of golf left. So I enjoyed it for that reason. Thought it was a lot of fun.
KJ.
It reminds me of Christmas Day, the NBA, when they've got like 5 games back to back. You're watching the second one, and all of a sudden you're seeing LeBron show up to the stadium with, his dinner in hand, or actually that'd be Dirk showing up with his dinner in hand, but LeBron getting a fit off in the stadium tunnel. Oh, wait, they don't play till 10 o'clock. Yeah. Personally, I enjoyed it, but the only thing I could think of is anybody who said they supported it on the timeline. I was wanting to bookmark that tweet and then check back when they're like, oh my God, I just love 7 a.m. golf at the Open every summer. It's just cup of that booming loud and final round of the Open.
Yeah, I actually kind of prefer that, especially if I'm in Montana, and especially if I walk up the stairs at like 7 to watch it, and one of the guys on the trip hasn't gone to sleep yet because he's been tripping balls on LSD. And then you just watch. Then you
As
just
it is
watch
the
golf
only
with
way
him.
he'll consume the British Open.
I won't name names, but I was just like, okay, guess we'll watch some golf, my friend. You can tell me about your travels. Wyndham Clark. How
the,
big?
the late start of the leaders is rough, but yeah, y'all have already talked about that.
How did we feel going into the final round?
As someone who picked Wyndham Clark in his snake draft, I was very for him doing what he did.
Is that true?
I got him in like the 4th round, but yeah, I picked Wyndham Clark.
It's a great value pick.
100-1, I believe his odds were to begin the tournament.
I thought it was higher than that.
I think I saw 100-1.
Okay, I'll double check that.
I was rooting for Ricky though. Obviously, it's well known that he's been struggling with the swing a lot. He's kind of lost his game. Found it recently. He's playing much better, but it's good to see him playing golf well again. He's one of the guys I think is pretty easy to root for.
Sure.
I'm a Scotty guy as well. He's like, I think I said when we were making our picks the other day, if he's not going to win, he's going to be top 3. Of course, he snuck his way into the top 3 with the last few holes there. So I'm happy for Wyndham Clark. His second win, his first one was a month ago. Very wild. What a run that guy's on the last month.
I call him Wyndham Clark.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That sucks, man. Let me try that again in Skip Bayless' voice. I call him Wyndham Clark.
Right.
Who's going to host with him, man? Some are saying KJ.
Absolutely not. I won't cry on the last day either. Going into the final day, all I could think of was maybe it was Dan Rappaport. That's the golf writer, right? I'm not intentionally butchering this.
Yeah.
I believe he had a tweet talking about Ricky Fowler finished up his final day, which Saturday, like an idiot, I stopped watching, I think at 17. So I missed him really kind of shit the bed on 18, setting up for a challenging Sunday. Not that, it would have mattered that much given how Sunday went. But anyways, I flipped over, did whatever else I was going to do. I didn't want to see Kate McKinnon throwing it to SNL. That's really what it was. But there was a tweet talking about how late he stayed, answering media questions, like with poise and a calmness, with no vitriol, signing every autograph request, and given his cachet and like his public persona, like he's a well-liked guy. And all I kept thinking was like, dude, you've got tomorrow, man. What are you doing? And they were like tipping their cap to like, man, Ricky is just such a, not a great person, but they were just saying like how cool of this, as a professional, like this is awesome. Whereas 99% of the time we would have seen not even a knock, but like the same tweets for Tiger would have been Tiger was back on the practice greens. Bryson was back on the driving range or working on his irons until, making him turn the lights back on. Like that's the article we see all of the time. Seeing somebody talked about like, hey, they just might have lost themselves millions of dollars on the final hole. They answered every question and signed every autograph and they'll be back tomorrow. Like I thought that was pretty cool going into Sunday. And then all day Sunday, all I could think about was like, maybe he should have said, fuck them kids and stop signing autographs.
Yeah, that works for a lot of people. Wyndham Clark, odds going into the U.S. Open, plus 8,500. On the
Really?
DraftKings Sportsbook? Yeah.
I was on CBS.
Was that maybe going into the weekend? I don't know.
No.
Interesting.
I'll find it.
Either way,
great fourth round pick. You got good value there as you did win. I'm assuming you won, right? Yeah.
I did not win because it's a total. So we pick 8 golfers, and then after the cut line, you have to pick your 4. If only 3 make the cut, however, you're disqualified. But you pick your top 4, and then it's a combined score of everyone. So
going into Sunday, I had 2 narratives that I would have liked to have seen, and then first one, it was 1A, 1B. I want Rory. 1B, give me Ricky. I thought realistically Ricky did not have a chance because I just don't think he's got it. He's got it, the mindset. I don't. I thought he was going to get alphaed. I didn't think he would be able to keep up with Rory, who was obviously playing in the group in front of him. But that's not really how it played out. But I found myself yesterday in a bad mood, and Alyssa's like, "Why?" And I was having a great day, and I was like, I just don't like this. I don't really like what I'm watching right now, and it's not even the fact that Rory can't make a birdie. It's just like none of these guys are doing anything. I'm disappointed in Scotty because I was at one point I was like, maybe Scotty can steal this. Like I thought Scotty would come out and put a nice little run together. Never really
He hit that
happened.
putt in what, 13 or 14?
He got back into where like you could see if Wyndham Clark had like a meltdown hole, which he didn't do. He tried to do it, but he didn't. And it was one of those things where it felt like Wyndham was leaving the door open, just kind of begging for Rory to go take it, and he never did. That combined with the fucking plane, the hum of the plane Alyssa walked in, she's like, "What is that?" It was the NBC plane that was just circling around, and they didn't kill the audio, and you could just hear it. It was so bad.
Didn't even notice that.
Step your soundbar game up.
I'm glad you mentioned this because I saw several a tweet about the flight pattern, like people doing the screenshot of the flight pattern of the plane.
Yeah.
I've said time and time again, I watch a lot of TV either muted or turned down significantly. Had no clue whatsoever. Like what the context was.
I'm glad. I'm glad because it would have affected how you viewed it and the fact that I was just watching Rory go out there and par every hole.
Yeah, the Rory angle, I really thought coming down to the last 5-6 holes that he was going to not necessarily go out and take the tournament because birdies were really hard to come by. But I thought the moment was going to be way too big for Wyndham Clark. Like we just said, his first win was a month ago. This is a guy who's not used to the stage like that. And God, you see the way everyone swarmed to 18 green for his last couple putts there. I mean, the pressure was obviously very intense. I thought he was going to do something to give it to Rory.
Yeah, every time he got in that position where you're like, oh, fuck, here's the double, he would make a putt. And, dude, he played fucking badass yesterday.
Yeah, he played well.
His drive on 18 notwithstanding, because that was ass.
Yeah, the course was playing very difficult yesterday.
Absolute balloon banana slice on 18.
Yeah.
One of the worst drives you'll see, and still made par. Shout out to him.
By the way,
big fairways.
The Playboy Mansion right off the 14 tee box. They kept mentioning. I thought that was wild. I didn't know there was a golf course right next to the Playboy Mansion. Not that I've ever been there, but that was interesting. Little tidbit.
Yeah, let's talk about the course and the club in general because a lot has been said about LA Country Club, and I thought it looked okay on TV.
I didn't think it looked great on TV at all.
I thought it would be a cool course to play. I thought the actual tournament itself wasn't especially fun.
Put me down for someone who likes a manicured bunker. Do they have like these look like, you see like the old shots from the 60s of like Pebble Beach when they didn't manicure the bunkers at all. It was like everything was really rough looking. And if you miss the green, I don't know why KJ's laughing right now. What'd I say?
Was he going to make
I'm
a
just
landing
being
strip
unnecessarily
joke?
H.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
If you miss the green by 2 feet, I don't think you should be in 12 inches of rough. That was a little ridiculous to me.
Well, they had actually cut back a lot of the rough too. That's a U.S. Open, man. That's what people were pissed off because the course, due to the marine layer on Friday or on Thursday, I guess, played a little bit easier than it should have, and that's why you had people going out there and shooting rounds in the mid to low 60s. Tommy Fleetwood, by the way, yesterday, sneaky 63, sneaky 63,
which I believe was your pick, right?
Was he my pick? I picked him in.
Yeah.
I picked him in one little league I was in. Some stuff on LA Country Club because Joe Pompliano, we're all big Joe Pompliano guys, sports plus business.
Mm-hmm.
He had some notes here in one of these extended word tweets. $250,000 initiation fee. No celebrities, no social media posts. And they use a 45-year-old tax loophole to save $80 million annually. They sit on 320 acres in the heart of LA. What do you think that'll get you? What do you think that's worth right now?
I don't know how to put a dollar amount on that, especially considering the neighbors surrounding you. I saw some shot of the mansions. That's pretty sick. So $250,000 initiation in LA. They don't allow celebrities?
Yeah, which I don't know what that means. Does that mean like C-list Austin local celebs can't join? Like, what's the threshold there?
Yeah, like
Like no
mid-level
exemptions due to
podcasters.
celebrity?
I'm sorry?
I was going to say like no exemptions as far as like membership fees due to celebrity status, like they still have to pay or something.
Maybe so,
I don't
or
know.
all the celebs just go to Riviera. I don't know. But I think I saw that 320-acre piece of land, which sits right between, in middle of Beverly Hills, between Sunset Boulevard, Wilshire Boulevard, and Santa Monica Boulevard, reportedly worth $8 billion.
Yeah, that sounds about right, I guess.
Oh, right behind the Beverly Hilton and just east of UCLA. I'm seeing here. So yeah, I think I've driven past this.
Yeah. So the reputation of this place is secrecy. I mean, they try to keep it a secret. Like you said, there's no social media posts are allowed. But if that's your thing, secrecy, then why are you going to host the U.S. Open? Secret's
Yeah.
out, I feel like.
Not only are you going to host the U.S. Open, but your members are going to try to buy all of the tickets, therefore limiting the amount of like regular fans that can go to it, which created one of the most boring major tournament atmospheres I've ever watched. That was very, very wild. I thought it was funny because on 18, you kind of got the sense that they let, I think they said that they were going to let people go crowd the green as the
Mhm.
leaders come up 18. But it felt like, because they heard the criticism that the fans were bad, that the fans were just not enthusiastic. And it felt like they were kind of trying to like, hey, let's go up there, let's show them, let's get up there and get wild. Maybe somebody yells mashed potatoes or something, or Maddie B did 9/11. I don't know, something, yell something. We didn't get any of that.
I can't argue with not having the background screams, but just I don't know, the vibe visually, aside from staring at the mansions in the background, it was not as visually appealing as several other PGA events. And again, that's a very layman, casual viewer's opinion. But like y'all's details about the rough around the bunkers, I do think it was notable because we almost had the story of the entire event come down to just that. Like, let's say that Wyndham had a couple stroke meltdown at some point. Had Rory not gotten the impediment relief that he did get on what, 14, 12? I don't know, somewhere early after the turn, like, had that not occurred, all they would have been talking about was how that screwed Roy, or not screwed, but like that was his bad luck moment.
The fix was in. Do you think the live fan accounts would have handled that well? Probably not.
I think nobody would have, because the rest of the event would have been terrible. Like nobody would have been tuning in to watch Wyndham Clark like up by 7 strokes. Like it was only interesting because Rory was there, and personally I was on the other side of things. Like, I'm kind of good if we don't have to watch the Rory McIlroy, like, after everything he's gone through, he powered through and won this event. Like, I think it's still admirable about what he did, but we don't have to endure all of that.
Yeah. For the record, he did get that drop, and then he did make bogey. Which, I mean, you're not going to get a better break than that. Like,
No.
ball's fucking embedded. You're getting like a sick drop. Don't make bogey, but he did. Ultimately, he was probably, I guess he birdied one, the par 5, but then no more birdies throughout the day. He kind of boned himself on the par 5s.
What's up with this putter? Is that just like a consistent thing with him, or like
just not making big putts? That's honestly it. Like, yeah, you want to see him drop like a 15-footer or something. He hit the stick on that extremely long one from the front of the green, and you thought maybe that would be like the moment of the tournament, but no, man, it sucked. And I hate being mad at a guy that I'm rooting for, just because but you're just like really, really wanting them to do this, and when they don't do it, it's just so frustrating. I didn't even have any financial interest in Rory. That's what I wanted to see. I'm a Rory fan. I wasn't early on in his career, but now I am. It sucks. But
how much did Sam Bennett cost you?
Sam Bennett, Texas A&M, shaved the goatee.
Mid-tournament
Mid-tournament shave, went
Like
out
Friday, right?
Went out, promptly ejected from the tournament.
He needed to shave that thing because it was truly terrible, but he looks less Texas A&M-y now, which I don't appreciate.
He should have waited. You wait till Sunday. As our good friend Tron from No Laying Up pointed out, the guy looks exactly like Dabo Sweeney. Like, exactly.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of scary, actually. And that's not somebody I want to think about. And he's already got the knock as a slow player. Like, he's extremely painful to watch, very tedious, a big regripper and kind of, waggle type. Sam Bennett, I like what you're doing. I like what you're all about. You got to keep that goatee and rock it, man. If that's you, if you want to take it back to like the early 2000s Houston Astros bullpen and have a bad goatee, then fucking do it, dude. Keep it. Don't let people pull you out of it.
It was so bad.
It was shit.
It was so bad. But like I said, he looked like perfect Texas A&M new grad or student. He also looks like T-Man.
Okay, you just shit on the guy's looks. Let's say
I
looks
shit
like
on
T-Man.
his goatee, not on his looks. Those are two very different things.
T-Man never had that aggressive of a goatee.
I'm not talking about his facial hair. I'm just talking about the way he looks. He looks like T-Man. You said Dabo, I say T-Man.
Okay. Randy, if some point in this pod, can you pull up a photo? Can you just search Twitter and type in Dabo and Sam Bennett and see what comes up? You don't have to do it right now, but just surprise us. I want you guys to see the side by side because it's pretty uncanny. Parting thoughts for the U.S. Open. Overall, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up. Hey, thumbs up.
Glad to see Ricky in his revival.
Thought it was
So
a fun
thumbs up
leaderboard.
there, even if he faded.
We got a new guy on the scene with a huge dub. Happy for him. Seems like a solid enough guy. And we got Playboy bunnies nearby.
What is Playboy now?
I don't know.
And it's online publication, but
Remember they took nudity away and then they brought it back because no one cared anymore about him?
yeah,
That was a good move to bring it back.
I do.
think.
Yeah, I also remember when they very, very, very strictly enforced copyright, intellectual property laws on people who use their photos. We don't have to get into that, but that is a thing. So,
Cost a certain online publication tens of thousands of dollars.
yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Who
Before
owns
my
that
time.
Who owns that house now? Is it just like
Twinkie magnet, right? Or Hostess? It was like a cupcake heir or some shit like that who bought it.
Cupcake Air?
I believe it was the heir to Hostess, but I'm a little bit off.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Do you remember the two blondes that lived with them?
Oh yeah.
And they had the reality show.
Oh yeah.
One of them was on a ghost hunter show that I watched called Ghost Adventures, and that's really all I have to say.
Was it Holly Madison or the other?
It was
one?
Holly Madison.
Okay.
I always thought was the hottest one.
Yeah, same.
Oh man, I was a Holly guy.
Mhm.
What about you, KJ?
Two things real quick. First, Darren Metropolis, $100 million in 2016. Private equity firm, blah, 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 co-owns Hostess brand, maker of Twinkies.
Look at you.
So correct there.
Oh, cool, man.
Second, back to the two hots from the Playboy Mansion.
Shocker that KJ knows an interesting fact about a horny adjacent topic.
That's a great point.
Well, this time that horny adjacent topic, not me. However, the other blonde is what? Kendra? Is that correct?
Yes.
Hank Baskins, not Bassett, Baskins. What is it?
Basket.
Hank
Basket.
Basket, wide receiver from the Eagles, formerly collegiate player at the University of New Mexico, where I took an official visit to, and I'm going to blame the altitude, but potentially factual or unfactual, may have found myself throwing up into a like Walmart plastic bag in the garage of Mr. Basket's home, and had to kind of sneak out the side of the building later on that night. Did not accept that offer. Was way too hungover the next day. But yeah, little did I know, I might have thrown up on like something that later could have belonged to like Kendra from Playboy. Whatever. All facts.
Okay.
And then
Pretty
he would be
cool.
found in bed by her with the transgender person, and they get a divorce.
What?
That's right. Gosh, what a weird. Okay.
Okay, well, we got to talk. I got to look this up afterward. This is all news to me.
KJ just brought up the picture of Dabo and Sam Bennett, and yeah, they do look a lot alike.
Dude, that's bizarre.
Since
Okay, I
shading-
hadn't even seen this one.
Maybe that's why he has the goatee, just so people stop making the comparison all the time.
Oh my God. Just grow
It's
a
like if
stash.
Dabo dipped his like chin in ice cream at a froyo place and then in sprinkles. Like that's what his goatee used to look like.
He's kind of got, Sam's got Marine Corps drill sergeant face, like
Yeah.
chin, like
See
where he
that.
looks like he would really light you up in a lineup. Like this dude would get after it. Like if you,
You'd get in your ass.
yeah, if your fucking test scores were bad, I don't know. I don't know what
He looks
You
like
get
the
your ass
human
ripped or
fighting
something.
Aggie.
He really does. That's bizarre.
If your shirt wasn't tucked in perfectly.
Yeah. You showed up
He
to
drinks a lot of milk.
house cleanup a little late. Fucked your pledge brothers. Literally. Not literally.
Find a way.
Find a way. Figure it out.
Oh, that guy's pro farmhouse for sure.
Guys, I gotta talk about our friends at Academy, specifically Row by Academy Sports and Outdoors. We've been wearing this. We've been wearing this for weeks. We love it. For getting in the zone or just out for the day, Row is a collection of on-trend closet staples made for whatever you're up for, Dylan. It won't weigh you down with loud neons, oversized logos, or impractical fabrics. Row includes a classic color palette and inclusive, tailored fits that always are on trend and versatile enough for errands, dinner, or a low-key evening. The collection features shorts, pants, joggers, polos, t-shirts, and long sleeves in a different mix and match colorways with sizes ranging from small to double XL. I like the sweat wicking fabrics. Be ready for anything, anywhere.
I can't stop working out in these things.
You like the hidden pockets?
I love the hidden pockets. I love the neutral tones. I love the moisture wicking. I love that the shirt is not nipply.
That's
It's-
a huge plus.
It's the moisture wicking tech material that's not nipply. That's huge for guys like us, Dave.
Tonal palette, mix and match and create a look or pair it with your favorite pieces. Moving throughout your day doesn't require a wardrobe change. Each Row item is made with soft materials and comfort first fits designed to make you look good and feel good throughout the day. If you're looking for reliable staples at an accessible price point, then shop Row, sold exclusively at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Visit academy.com/Row or just go to a location near you to shop today. Also, check out the shoes. Those tennis shoes are heat. Been wearing them a lot lately. Hey, let's do a little inside baseball real quick. Gonna pull back the curtain. Whoever deleted a big chunk of the rundown or something right in the middle
Whoa.
KJ,
What? Dude,
No,
completely
no,
threw
no,
me
no,
off.
no,
I was
no,
pitching
no.
a perfect game.
what'd you do,
The-
KJ?
I understand that it moved your read up. I respect that. But
Bell gave me a stroke.
you jumped over the segment we were about to hit. So I was like, all right, let me move it under the read. That's where we're going. And even then, we were supposed to hit basketball next.
Well, we had to do the read. We had to do a read, KJ.
Oh, you had a read.
I
understand.
had a read.
So are we doing basketball or baseball?
We're doing basketball. I was saying inside baseball,
Okay.
using it to like apply like we're doing behind the scenes here. I don't know.
Okay.
It
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
landed.
We'll
That's
give you,
why I'm
we'll give you
explaining
that.
it. Hey,
We'll give you that.
we finally got the jaw deets. 25 games.
Underwhelming? Not that I was rooting for him to be suspended longer, but I was expecting longer.
So a lot of talk about it. And I don't think it actually is underwhelming because 25 games obviously severely handicaps the Grizzlies season. I mean, that's a lot of games to not play with your best player. Costing him what, like $6 to $7 million missing those games in like game checks.
Up to 10.
Up to 10. And then also he will not be eligible to play the threshold amount of games to make an all NBA team, which costs him a lot of money and money on future contracts. So this is a big deal financially. Hefty.
Okay. What was the deal? I saw the pistol. He proved that it wasn't actually a real gun. Is that a smoke screen? What's going on with that? It was an actual like a lighter, not a gun.
I don't know. I wasn't even aware of that. Like, I feel like people were like, "Oh yeah, this happened too." I'm like, did we completely gloss over him like mocking the entire deal with a pistol lighter? Which, by the way, those were very cool as a kid. If you had one of those, you were pretty dope. You could light your Black and Mild with a
Just
pistol cig. You were fucking on
Don't-
top of the world.
don't pull that out in public if it looks like very much like it's not a lighter and if it looks like a real gun, because that could go very badly for a lot of people. Be careful.
Did you guys think we were going to get a lot more from Adam Silver from the NBA? Like, because the way they talked about it, they're like, dude, you guys just wait. we got a lot more information. Never really got it. And now there's stuff getting released by I think I saw something on ESPN where there's a thought that from Jaw's camp that he's being unfairly targeted. Jaw retweeted the tweet, quote tweeted the tweet with a giant cap gif. Of course, cap, a term used for lying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the kids are saying.
Not referring to his team being handicapped without him.
Right, or popping a cap. It's a dated reference.
I think of note, Nike is sticking with Ja. So, as far as bags being lost, like he's not losing his sponsorships, and that's huge.
Kyrie did. Just saying. Posted a link to a video.
The deal was not renewed. They did not negotiate a new deal. They let the terms of the current deal expire. Anyways, with Ja, I think it's, the setup is worse than anything that we've seen from a suspension standpoint. Like, had that second video dropped and immediately Ja Morant suspended for 25 games, they would have talked about it for like half a day during the finals and moved the hell on.
I think you're absolutely right. It's insane that they waited. Like, I mean, it doesn't really matter one way or the other, but the way they were talking is like, dude, this is going to be, they're going to take all the spotlight away from the NBA finals, and we can't have that. 25 games, like people they would have talked about it in a segment on PTI. They would have talked about it on the pregame show briefly, but it would not have been that big of a distraction.
He's going into his 5th year. I pulled the Basketball Reference for him the other day. He's averaged about 17 to 25 games missed per year anyway, largely due to injury. There's nothing saying he would play every single one of the games he's back for. But from a team competitive standpoint, like, this might not be that much different than their prior years without him. Now, they'll be missing Dylan Brooks, doing a lot of work there, but they'll still end up 7 or 8 in the West at worst.
Sure. I think you're right. Other news in the NBA. Bradley Beal to the Suns. What's next for CP3 in 2023? We'll find out soon. Rumor is
retirement.
No, they said they want to do right by CP3, and they want the third team involved who will take CP3 to be a contender. Rumor is the Clippers, and I hope what's going to happen is this thing's going to get done an hour after we record, and we're going to miss it and not talk about it till next Monday. That's how this always works for this show. But Bradley Beal to the Suns, I saw some stat. That core of Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant have played a total of just a very, very low number of games due to injury over the last few years. So, I mean, if it works, I don't know. Everybody's kind of getting Brooklyn vibes, net vibes, just because of how that went down. Bradley Beal, I'm not saying he's a comparable player to Kyrie on or off the court, but I don't know. I just don't know what to make of this. Phoenix feel like that owner got in there and he's just absolutely forcing deals.
You've got DeAndre Ayton as a part of this picture too, and that's probably the X factor relative to like Brooklyn. Whatever they are, it ain't built for long. It ain't built to last. I have no idea who they're going to put out at, it's a positionless game, but whoever would play the 4 or the traditional role of a 4, maybe it's KD, but like the third, whoever their 5th person is, that's not Ayton, KD, Booker, or Bradley Beal. Real quick, Chris Paul's 38 years old. And he's due $30 million this year, $30 million next year. As far as his base salary and his guaranteed money. Yeah, that's just a tough contract that somebody's going to have to eat. You got to hope that he wants to be wherever that is. The funniest thing about this entire story is any headline that says Bradley Beal trade kicks off the Wizards rebuild. Like, the fuck was the last 2 or 3 years for the Wizards? Like, ever since John Wall was out of there. Like, you're telling me Kristaps and Beal were like, they thought that was going somewhere? Like, come on.
These are the numbers that were wild. Dylan, get your calculator out. The Suns cap after the Beal trade. Kevin Durant, $47.6 million. Bradley Beal, $46.7 million. Devin Booker, $36 million. DeAndre Ayton, $32.5 million. So that's a total of $171.2 million. Salary cap is 134. The luxury threshold is 162 million. And then there's the second tier, second apron, as it's called, 179.5 million. And they still have 9 roster spots to fill. And they're that far over the tax threshold, which is pretty insane. Obviously, they're going to move some people around. I don't know. Ayton will probably people want him in Dallas. That's the rumor. I don't know. I don't know why anybody would ever trade with us for the 10th pick, but you never know. But yeah, it's just it's funny. I'm glad teams like this exist in the NBA and in sports because it's fun. It's fun content, and you kind of get to watch. It either works really well or it's a complete shit show, and that's all we talk about. But I'm glad it's not my team yet. My owner doesn't do stuff like this. My owner just tweets at Joe Rogan. I don't know if you guys saw that. We don't have to go down that road, but fun stuff. Draft tomorrow night, or this week, I guess.
Yeah, draft Thursday night. I thought it was Tuesday for some reason, but yeah, Thursday night's draft. Obviously, Dylan's Spurs are getting Wemby.
Let's go.
After that, who knows? There is a lot of potential with the Mavs at the 10th pick to be getting Grady Dick. I know this show will love it, and particularly at least this host, just because he is arguably the best shooter in the draft, and the Mavs could use a spot shooter to alleviate some of the clogged lanes that Luka gets. Believable
proud?
sports
He
content,
says with a
right?
smirk on
I'm
his face.
so
Are
proud.
you proud of what you do here?
I hope that I have months to talk about Grady Dick before the season starts.
Just all you just wanted to do a Grady Dick joke series.
Clogged
That's why I
lanes?
begged y'all to do NBA draft talk. That's the only thing I cared about.
Oh man, I gotta update the run it back
I mean,
segment. real
Grady
quick.
Dick is in play at 10, I think.
He
I would like.
definitely is.
I don't really have a joke for this name, but Anthony Black, the from Duncanville High School, Arkansas.
Oh, I didn't know he's from Duncanville.
Yeah, he played Duncanville.
That's tremendous then.
He's the kid who got them in all the trouble because he transferred in. That was him, and then he played at Arkansas.
Got
Great player, good defender. Would love that. Don't think he's there at 10. Rumor is the UCF. People like the UCF center, although Dan Regester, not that high on him. But who knows?
Taco Fall?
Not Taco Fall.
What's he up to? Just
He had a
playing.
baby recently.
Okay. Put that on the run
You know
back.
what?
Taco Fall had a baby. Why do you know that?
Because I
Fall,
remember
happy
seeing the
Father's
picture
Day.
of him and his child and his baby's mother, presumably his wife. Like, those photos will always make me laugh. Anytime you see like Shaq with a date or a wife, it's just like, wow. There's the paywall.
Noted big. Man.
Anyways,
Is this somehow horny?
Probably. It is KJ.
What do you got? KJ, give us some fun facts from the Ringer.
quick little dip report here, which just means I read most of an article related to the NBA draft. With the Mavs picking at 10, it's unlikely to affect them, but there's a pretty good narrative regarding the 8th pick overall in the NBA draft. As historically, over the last 29 years, the 8th pick in the NBA draft has failed to net a single All-Star. Multiple franchise players have been taken at 9, notably Dirk, Tracy McGrady, Amari Stoudemire, DeMar Rosen, Paul Pierce, and Paul George at 10, Klay Thompson at 11, Kobe at 13, Devin Booker at 13, on and on and on. Giannis at 15, Steve Nash and Kawhi Leonard also at 15. They've had multiple All-Stars taken 35th overall, 2 in the second round at 47th. Even one late in the 60th overall was Isaiah Thomas, notable Celtic/Cavalier trade piece for the Kyrie trade, I believe. Denver Nugget as well. Every other slot in the top 32 has yielded at least one All-Star, except for number 8, number 23, and number 26. Like every other one in the top 32, except for those numbers. So I don't know why that is. It's just, them's be the numbers. The Knicks have the longest streak of just being absolutely terrible. But when Thursday night rolls around and the 8th pick comes up, it'd be wonderful for me to be equipped with knowing the team that's currently slotted at 8. But I can guarantee you, based on history, it doesn't sound like that will be an all-star selection.
That's pretty wild.
It is very interesting.
Ooh, 8, KJ. Oh, no. The Washington Wizards.
Oh, there you go.
There
I
you
think
go.
that was tied back to why this whole story came up in the first place.
Perfect for their rebuild. That has definitely not been going on for many years, apparently.
Real quick on the order in general, like as competitive and entertaining as the NBA playoffs are, where you'll end up watching some random team. Nuggets aren't a random team, but like you'll buy into a team like the Nuggets that you otherwise would not care about. I don't know what it is about the lottery or just the or general disinterest in the NBA draft, but reading through the top 8 picks, Spurs, Hornets, Trailblazers, or I should say Blazers, Rockets, Pistons, Magic, and the Pacers, like, I don't know if it's me not knowing the prospects or me not giving a shit about most of those franchises, but like, I like something about them. Just like, I don't care who these teams get. You know, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I get that. For me, it's just saying it, we know what San Antonio is going to do. It's just, okay. I keep an eye on them. I keep an eye on Houston as they're the other 2 Texas teams. So that's pretty much all I care about, unless there's some, I don't know, like a kid who played at Duncanville in the draft. I'm curious where he goes. I'm looking for storylines, but I will watch because the Mavs do have the 10th pick. Whether they keep that or not, we'll see. But I don't have high hopes. I really don't. So
Shout out Wemby.
Shout out Wemby. Hey, can I get some sort of notification, like maybe like an alarm if we were to have like a new sponsor?
Ooh. We have a new sponsor. New sponsor alert.
Folks, shout out to Gooder, the sunglasses company that we are rocking with now. I'm digging them. I recently copped the Operation Blackouts and the Clubhouse Closeouts. And I've got to say, wife loves them. The kid loves them.
I debuted my new Gooder sunglasses on the Grom, actually. I'm not going to plug my handle, but if you follow me on the Grom, you notice that I had them on over the weekend when I dropped my son off for camp. I simply love them. Absolute
heat. KJ, 100% polarized and only $25. How about that? $25, lightweight, and we all love how comfortable they are to wear all day. And because they're so affordable, I don't have to worry about losing or breaking them. That's a thing. I've been known to lose and break sunglasses. Sometimes I'll break them and then I lose them. It's a weird thing.
If I have two pairs of sunglasses sitting next to each other, one of them is a pair that I probably overpaid for.
Mm-hmm.
The other pair is, I don't know, some affordable Gooders. I'm reaching for those every time. I don't wear my expensive overpriced ones. I'm too afraid I'm going to jack them up or lose them or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Can relate to that. You can wear them while you're running, do some exercising, maybe your errands. Hey, maybe just watching a sunset, KJ. Maybe going out and just checking out the wildfire smoke that's infiltrating your town. Just throw them on.
It's absolutely a key part of my fit right now because to cover up the red eyes I was talking about earlier, sunglasses are a part of my daily routine without question. I'm able to now mix them up a little bit, keep a pair in the car, keep a pair at home. I don't have any risk of ever being left without a pair of sunglasses because Gooders are so easy to acquire.
Sneaky got to have an emergency pair in the console of your vehicle, just in case you forget them. And then you got to drive, the sun's setting in Austin, Texas, man. It can be tough to drive through.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to support the show and pick up a pair, Gooder is giving Too Much Dip listeners free shipping on your first order. You can go to gooder.com/dip. That's GOODR.com/dip and use code DIP to get free shipping. Gooder offers a 30-back money day guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Find your pair at gooder.com/dip and use code DIP to get free shipping. That's GOODR.com/dip. We're talking baseball, y'all. We got to do it to them. We got to gas up the AL West.
Talk to me about the AL West, Dave.
The this is going to be a really, really fun back half of the season. It's already fun now, but Rangers were kind of struggling. Had the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim come in town. I don't know why I said that so weird. And take 3 of 4. We now have a 3-way race. Okay. Rangers in first place. Behind them, just 4.5 games back, the aforementioned Angels. Behind them, 5.5 games back. So a game back of the Angels, your Houston Astros.
Mm-hmm.
So we got and I said before, I have no expectations. I don't think the Rangers are going to win the division. I'm happy if they make a wild card. I'd be happy if they just competed. That was me going into the season. Now I would be really, really bummed if they did not make the playoffs, and they have like a 74% chance of making the playoffs in some capacity. But with the Angels in town last week, got to watch Ohtani, who for the most part is relegated to highlights and Twitter videos, which there are many. And Dylan, I'm going to give you the floor to talk a little Ohtani because I feel like we don't talk about him enough.
Yeah, Ohtani, I think he hit like 3 identical home runs against the Rangers, like 450 feet to center, like left or center left center field.
Deep part of the ballpark for sure.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Shohei Ohtani, if you're not paying attention, you probably should start. He's having an incredible season. I was watching a game, I think it was last night, and the broadcast mentioned that he's leading the Angels in every offensive statistical category.
I saw a tweet that outlined all of those, and I thought it was a joke.
I have it pulled up. Shohei Ohtani is leading the Angels in these categories offensively. Batting average. And this was 2 days ago, so if things changed yesterday, I don't think they did.
Sure.
Don't hold me accountable for it. Batting average, home runs, and this was it. This says 23. He had another one last night, so I know he has 24 now. RBIs, stolen bases, runs, on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, and total hits. And oh, by the way, he also is a starting pitcher. He leads the pitching staff in these categories: ERA, wins, strikeouts, WHIP, which is walks, hits per innings pitched, batting average against, and innings pitched.
Who leads the team in Nene?
That's a whip. That's a whip joke, folks. That's good. I like that joke. The guy is.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think the people want some more. Are they? Are
they just now getting it?
I think maybe they're just now like understanding what went down there.
There you go.
That's funny right there.
That's good, Dave.
Thanks, guys. We'll be at the Houston Laugh Factory next weekend.
So he is set to become a free agent at the end of this year. And so a lot of talk about how much he's going to be worth. How do you put a value on a guy that's like worth multiple hundred millions of dollars as a hitter and as a pitcher? I don't know. Do you add the two up together and that's the number? It's like theoretically, you save a roster spot when this guy's on your team because he plays the field and he's also a starting pitcher. I found an article here by a publication called Sportskeeda. I don't know what that means.
That was my nickname in high school.
That's good. According to this website, Ohtani, who is 28 years old, projected if he were only a pitcher, his projected contract would be 10 years, $230 million. Pretty good money.
After taxes, though, not that much.
If he was just a hitter, his projected contract would be 8 years, $333 million. So if you were to add those two together, that's, we'll call it 9 years, $563 million, or 10 years, $563 million. I don't know if the contract is actually going to work out that way, because how do you pay one guy over $50 million a year? Maybe you do. I don't freaking know.
If there's a guy you'd pay, it's him.
He's unbelievable.
He's the MVP, right?
You got to think. He also leads Major League Baseball in home runs right now, not just his team, but the guy's unbelievable. We've never seen a guy like him, right?
Right.
No,
I mean, like there's no comp.
He doesn't get cheated on his home runs either. They're all like moonshots. The guy's a freak.
Exit velo, extremely high.
Yeah.
I know there
I'm
was some
glad you
talk.
brought that up.
Oh, you got some exit velo stats?
I do, and I was trying to send the headline that I was reading because I couldn't understand what it meant. Ohtani hits hardest oppo taco by a lefty hitter. Doing too much in that headline, Manny. But the article from MLB.com, basically, if you want to get the specific exit velo stats, blah, blah, blah. Wednesday night last week, 453-foot home run to left center during the ninth inning. And the Rangers lost, but exit velocity of that home run was 116 miles an hour, making it the hardest hit home run to the opposite field by a left hitter that StatCast has tracked since ever in their existence in 2015. So 116 miles off the bat for an opposite home run, which, fact check me here, Dylan, as an idiot. That would mean at the point of contact, an opposite home run, like that's late in his swing. Theoretically, when a person's power should be decreasing, like you're past.
To go opposite field, it's earlier in your swing, which means you have less time to get the bat moving.
Yeah,
but
so it is much more
okay.
impressive.
You're right.
It's harder to hit the ball hard opposite field than it is pulling it. Yeah.
Got it. Pulling it back towards. I'm thinking from a right-hander perspective and the direction it went. From a lefty, that's what's critical. So it would be early in his swing.
Exit velo is one of those things that was never ever discussed for me growing up. Like, there wasn't a thing that people ever knew.
That's like last 5 years. I think, that
but yeah, if you're north of 110 like that, that's up there.
It started kind of as a bit where I would talk about it, but now I do find it very, very interesting.
It is interesting. That kid.
It seems a lot more reliable than like them telling me that Sammy Sosa's home run would have went the equivalent of 516 feet, and it like clearly just hit off the back wall there. And they're like, nope, that would have gone 516 like in 2003. And I'm like, okay, like you're just making shit up. And I believe it a little, but I believe things like them actually being able to measure the velocity off the bat and explaining those physics to me more than just throwing a number up there.
Juiced the baseballs back then too. More on that on a future touching based. You should do that.
Well, the balls were absolutely juiced in recent years. I think they've
2 years ago, right?
Back. It was pretty recent. I don't know how many years.
Yeah,
ago.
I feel like it was maybe our first year of the show, because either that or the year before, and it was boring as shit. People were complaining about it. They're like, wait, no, go back. It was much more fun when Gallo was able to hit bombs.
There were some really cheap home runs, though, that it was obvious that something needed to be done about it. I mean, guys were like out, off their front foot, just putting the bat out there and hitting balls that looked like they were pop outs, and they were
the Beltray.
They're carrying over the fence. And it was really stupid. So something needed to be done.
Good stuff. Looking forward to it.
Real quick on AL West rankings. I love everything you laid out there. None of it brings to light. Too Much Dip's preferred team in the AL West, aside from our fandoms, is that the home of Brent Rooker. While the A's are not doing well in the standings or by many metrics, Brent Rooker's having a hell of a season, and their fans are doing even more and the most, if you will, pushing against the stadium relocation to Vegas, which I don't care what the future looks like, but if it has Brent Rooker on the team, I will always keep an eye on them.
Well, I have to give Brent Rooker at Brent_Rooker12 his props, because he is absolutely clapping back on Twitter. I don't know if you've peeped his quote tweets, but he's going in. He's not holding back. I love it. He said, he apologized. He said, sorry, everyone, we're off today and I don't have a tea time. Too much time on my hands. Shout out to Brent. Good dude, friend of the show.
He's making strong points.
He's making a great point. Time to party. This is the part of this podcast where we talk sports and party at the same time. KJ, tell us about this DUI that's non-Huggins related.
Good point. We didn't even have that on the list. But yeah, a couple notable Deweys in the sports universe. The first, I was in Milwaukee this weekend. On my trek back to Madison, and I was like, crap, am I going to hit baseball traffic? I did, and that was because my Pittsburgh Pirates, I should have known, were in town. I get home only to realize there was another headline about the Pirates in town. That was that after their road trip from Chicago, the driver of the team bus was pulled over for a DUI between Chicago and Milwaukee, which is not laughable. There's nothing funny about a DUI, but I feel like the potential here could have been like Matthew McConaughey is playing your head coach in a movie 20 years from now if things go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For sure.
But because he was pulled over and everybody was thankfully safe, it's just like, oh, hey, that crazy driver, which how is this not like noticed, spotted? There's got to be more to the story rather than you just had one drunk driver, the bus driver, and none of these other highly fine-tuned athletes, managers, staff, whoever else was on the bus. Maybe it was a vacant bus. I didn't catch that, but that's not what I was led to believe. That I thought there were players on the bus. Like nobody else realized like, hey, what the fuck's going on with this guy? We've got $300 million of salary back here. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's pretty scary. It's like when you find out like there's a pilot who just shows up shit faced and just flies, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Shouldn't happen. Yeah, Bob Huggins, just looking, doing a Twitter search to see what the latest is. Very well loved by his old players, it turns out. Good dude, other than the recent slip-ups, if you believe what Twitter says.
Okay.
One of them being a massive DUI. Like, I don't know if the state that he was in offered a super DUI, because, that is a thing. If you're, like, crazy loco over the limit. But he was very, very much over the limit. Like, it wasn't like a marginal.
Yeah. For Huggy Bear to get to a .21, I mentioned this over the weekend, that you got to drink a lot.
Yeah, this wasn't like a, hey, man, if you just chug some water before the cop gets to the car, you'll be fine. No, he would have needed, like, a full-on fucking blood transplant.
Still a .1 short of Vodka Sam's record back in 2014. Hope she's doing okay. Or 2013. Hope she's doing okay.
You and I have a friend who keeps a banana in his console at all times because he thinks that bananas completely sober him up if he just houses one. So in the event that I shouldn't even be saying this because it's terrible. But in the event that he gets pulled over, he just houses a banana and he's like, "Oh, I'm completely sober now." I don't know how to tell him that this is really bad protocol there. I'll tell you who it is after this.
I just have the image of somebody getting like the cop approaching the window, and this person's got like 3/4 of a banana eaten, and they're just holding the banana with the peel also bitten. Like they didn't have time to peel it. They're just fucking gnawing into the peel, and the banana's just smushed everywhere. Like, the fuck's going on here?
There's like that secondary inner part that's like hanging from their lip. You know what I'm talking about? It's like not part of the yellow peel, but like the fibery part.
You just ate a banana, but you're also completely sober. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Just fucking housing banana. Yeah, just a potassium bump, man. Brings you back. Okay. We don't. This is not legal advice.
No, absolutely not.
Don't do that. But bananas are nature's Snickers bar. So have fun, kids.
You want to run it back?
Let's run it back.
Segment during which we talk about what we already talked about. KJ featured heavily in this one, actually. KJ shockingly makes lunch sound horny. Catch the squad at ooh-wee, wings and catfish.
No. Read it right.
Catch the squad at ooh-wee, wangs and catfish. Wangs.
Thank you.
That's what I said, wangs.
Yeah, you got to really put a little twang on it. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry. Dave thinks he's too famous to join LA Country Club.
I asked the question.
KJ shockingly knows who now owns the Playboy Mansion. Again, horny adjacent is the play there. KJ blew chunks with Hank Basket. KJ, of course, wants to talk about the NBA draft so he can mention Grady Dick. Sorry, Grady Dick.
Former Arkansas quarterback Casey Dick.
Casey's his brother. Taco Fall. Happy Father's Day. Not all of Ohtani's home runs look the same. Thank you, whoever added that. And finally, KJ thinks DUIs are funny.
Way to go.
Real cool.
So not accurate.
Any other joke series you want
to... fellas, when you love what you do, everything, just everything happens.
That reminds me. I have another
Put
friend.
that on a pillow.
That doesn't mean anything.
I have another friend who keeps I don't know if he actually does. He says he does. He keeps a full beer can in his console. And so if he were to get pulled over when he was drinking. He thinks that a loophole in the system is that if you get out before the cop gets up to you, if you get out and you open the beer and you chug it, you turn your car off, get out and chug it, the cop can't then prove when you got drunk. Therefore, you can't prove drinking and driving. And I just don't think it works that way.
I'll add, just,
Texas, really
hypothetically for entertainment purposes only, make sure you take your keys out of the car if you ever try that.
Yeah.
Don't leave them in the ignition.
Yeah, the old San Marcos story that actually happened. They gave a kid a DUI. He was sleeping in the back seat of his car, and the keys were still in it, but he was in the back seat in a parking lot in a spot, and they gave him a fucking DUI.
That's bullshit.
Which is bullshit. Anyway, I guess I'll get off my soapbox. Let's get out of here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
When my team wins a big game, it's good. But when my team doesn't win,